Who would have thought that I would actually be working at Universal Studios? That's pretty crazy. What can I say, literally? Hey guys, how's it going? Shaun Allen here. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Around like 2 o'clock this morning, or this afternoon, this morning. That would have been like 2 a.m. in the morning. Around 2 p.m. today, around that time period, I got a really encouraging phone call. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. For those of you who have recently subscribed to my channel, you guys have been missing out on a lot of really, really cool information. So let me just quickly, briefly state what happened. So for the last several weeks, actually for the last several months, I've been submitting job applications to many different places like studios and even theme parks. Well, Universal got back to me because I submitted a bunch of things over there and said that we want you to interview for this position. Now, they do have a site on the Universal Studios Hollywood website for jobs, and they will usually state like what's open, what's available. And they'll ask you like a bunch of questions and stuff. Sorry, I'm getting gassy for some reason. So what happened was that I submitted a whole bunch of applications, and one of them actually made it through. And this was the first time in a while that I've actually gotten a, shall I say, an acceptance from somebody. For like the longest time, I've been getting a lot of like emails saying, sorry, we're kind of filled up at this time. Not like rejection emails, it's just like an excuse saying, oh, we're no longer looking at more submissions and all that. And it's like, okay, well, it was worth a shot. Well, this one application went through, and they asked me to interview it for it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they called me 2 weeks ago, and it went very well. Lasted about 5 minutes. And this last Monday, I was at Universal, at their talent office. And let's just say that went very well. I don't know if I posted about that on YouTube. Did I? I don't think I did. Well, I think I talked about it on one of my live chats on YouTube. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the interview went very well. The only problem was that they didn't hire me right then and there because, if I remember correctly, they were stating like they were still hiring people to be like their scare actors, and they didn't meet a certain deadline. So it's like once we get this situation taken care of, then we can start getting people on board for what we're dealing with here. Now, this isn't actors for a movie, okay? Some of you are probably asking yourselves, well, is this for like one of their stunt shows? Is this for one of their live performances? No, it's not. Well, I guess in a way this is kind of like a live performance, but it's a major performance that involves the entire theme park. Now, before I completely forget, this is a temporary thing. It's not permanent. It's only going to last for about maybe, I'd say, 2 months. Now, the reason why it's only lasting 2 months is because it's involving a certain event at Universal Studios. And this event occurs between the like mid-September, actually, I'll look on the calendar, September 15th and ends on November 4th. It more specifically involves a particular day in October, October 31st. Boy, what kind of event am I talking about? I'm talking about Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. Now, I know what you're thinking, Shaun, that's not a kid-friendly event. Why in the world would you want to do that? Well, let's just point something out here. I'm not a Halloween Horror Nights enthusiast. I've never been to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, ever. I've only seen pictures and videos on YouTube over the last several years, and there was one year I wanted to go, but I wasn't able to. This was like back in 2011 or something. So, never been to Halloween Horror Nights, although I was at Universal a while back when they had a bunch of the decorations up. Most of them, not, well, some of them, not a lot. But this year it's going to be a little different because, yes, this will be my first time going to Halloween Horror Nights, But in some respects, what better way to experience it for the first time than to actually work at it? Now, you're probably thinking to yourselves, well, what's the good of that? Why is it only, you're only going to be there temporarily. Well, think about it for a second. Yes, I'm not as enthusiastic about Halloween Horror Nights as some people are, but I'm treating this as a job. In fact, that's what I'm doing. This is a job that that I submitted to for Universal to work at. And the position that they asked me to interview slash be hired for was maze host. Now, for some people, that be like, oh, well, that's stupid. Well, not necessarily, because a lot of things are like involved in this. First of all, if something were to happen in the maze that you need to temporarily close for a while, I've had to stand out front saying we're temporarily closed, go to one of these other mazes here and there, or kind of keep people entertained as they're about to enter the maze, and also keep track as to how many people are entering the maze. I know math isn't one of my best subjects, but I got to get used to it, right? Also, I'm like second in line in terms of security. Like up here we have security, and then you have myself. So in other words, I'm keeping not only the guests safe, but also the scare actors safe. Now the reason why that's important is because sometimes people can be a little drunk. Yes, they do serve alcoholic beverages at Universal. And sometimes people might get a little drunk and maybe a little rowdy in some cases. So if they get scared by somebody, they might retaliate. Then I have to be the one to kind of get things under control. If it gets a little too out of control, I have to radio security in order to, make sure these things don't happen. I'm also going to be there probably to help set up and dismantle things before and after the event occurs, right? There's a lot of other things that I can mention too, but that's just like the basics. But there's a lot more stuff that goes on even behind the scenes that I probably shouldn't talk about. But those are the basic type of things. And for all it's worth, it sounds like quite an experience. Now, the hours are going to be from like 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. That's going to be a long night. And the event only goes from like 7 to 2. So why such a long period? Well, the reason is because, like I said, that time period between 5 to 7 and from 2 to 4 is to, get everything all set up and then dismantle things. Because obviously when you go to Universal Studios Hollywood during that time period, there's not a whole lot that can be seen from Halloween Horror Nights. Although there are some props that are seen here and there, but most of the stuff's either backstage or is covered up. So there's that. But then when they close down the theme park for a little bit, we have to pull everything out, make sure everything's all set up and ready to go. Which can take a long time. Which is expected, right? So, yes, this is an experience unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Will I be scared out of my wits? Probably the first couple of nights, but I'll get used to it. Am I thrilled about this? In some respects I am, but like I stated, I'm not as enthusiastic as some people are for Halloween Horror Nights. It's not my cup of tea. If you guys know me, I enjoy the more classic Universal monster films like the original Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, and The Wolfman, Creature from Black Lagoon. I enjoy those films. I love those films. So the more newer stuff I'm not as crazy about. Okay, so sorry, not a really big Walking Dead fan here. Some of the mazes that they have here this year, I wouldn't say are tame, but one of them is going to be The Shining, which I think is kind of an interesting one. And others for like American Horror Story, and others for Ash versus the Evil Dead. So I don't exactly know which maze I'll be hosting. I might have to be in character sometimes to kind of get people interested in the attraction. So I'll be kind of like Maynard in a way. If you guys don't know who Maynard is, he's a Disney cast member who does really cool spiels for like the Haunted Mansion and for the Enchanted Tiki Room. There's one part of his Enchanted Tiki Room line that he goes, he's talking about if you have any trash with you, he's like, these things, you will take them with you and take them outside to Tiki Trash Can. You will insert these items into it, and you will send them on a journey to the land called Phil. Classic, right? Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's pretty hilarious, that guy. So yeah, that's pretty much my job as well, because I'll be keeping people in line and somewhat entertained before they enter the attraction. The one thing that I do remember that the person that interviewed me that said was that I was more than qualified to be a part of being a maze host. Now that could have gone one of two ways. One, that I'm overly qualified and maybe I shouldn't be hired, or this guy's really good from what he stated, we should hire this guy. And I got a phone call today, and it's official, yeah. So I updated my status on my stuff, whatever, and I'll be meeting up with them soon to go over paperwork. Yes, I will be getting one of those special name tags that you see people, and apparently it's supposed to say like your favorite movie or something. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to keep it as like a souvenir. The thing is that I don't know if they'll be rehiring me in the future, but we'll see. Right? I would love to be able to continue working at Universal, because unlike some people who think that it's a boring job, it looks quite entertaining. So we will see what happens. But there is one thing I want to mention. I don't want you guys to think that I'm going down this road where I'll start talking about horror movies all the time and talking about like stuff that's, bad and everything. This is probably going to be the only time you hear me mentioning about Halloween Horror Nights. If I actually vlog at Universal during the time of Halloween Horror Nights, not like the night itself, but at Universal, expect that to happen, because that's what will be happening during that time period. I might be there on a day when I'm off, and I'll be able to experience the park just as a customer and just enjoy the park before the next day, like my work day, because they won't have any butterbeer available because the Wizarding World would be closed. Now, that's one thing people are going to be asking me. Is Wizarding World of Harry Potter going to be open? No. It is closed during that time because of licensing issues. So, unfortunately, no more frozen butterbeers for Halloween Horror Nights. Somebody was suggesting that they have, like, the Dementors flying around around Hogsmeade, which, would make sense because those are terrifying creatures from Harry Potter, and it would make sense for Halloween Horror Nights. But, again, licensing. You can only have so much at this event. So, unfortunately, Hogsmeade and Wizarding World closed. Oh, well. But, anyways. Not that I think people are... I'm pretty sure people are going to be upset that it's going to be closed, but whatever. So, yeah, that's what's happening right now. So, thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I know that some people are probably going to be wondering if this was a permanent thing. It may eventually become a permanent thing. I really don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but we will see. It might turn out to be something permanent. It might be something big later on down the road. I really don't know. The other question you guys are probably going to be asking me, are you vlogging during this time? Yes, I am. I have recorded the process of what's been going on, and I'm going to give a little bit of like a documentary style video about what's been going on before my first day at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, and then that's like part one. Then part two is going to be the aftermath. What happened, right? Will I survive Halloween Horror Nights 2017? I'm pretty sure I will. Got to stay away from them walkers. Alright, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and please stick with me, guys, because I know that you all trust me with these kid-friendly videos, and I'm only treating this as a job, okay? You're not going to see me do all these stupid things and talking about really stupid stuff, but that's what it is. This is official. It is happening, and I literally start this August in terms of orientation, like later this August, and we'll just continue on from there. So, on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, please stick with me. For those of you who have known about this for a while, thank you for all your support and your messages. It really does mean a lot. Please continue to give me all that support and your prayers, because this will be a very nerve-wracking experience. But I really need all that courage and strength to make it through this. And the hours, like I said, are going to be insane. And I might be a little cranky a few nights. So please keeping your prayers, because I will definitely need them for the next few months. This thing doesn't officially start until September 15th, and, just saying, it might get a little crazy here and there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. It's greatly appreciated. Again, this will probably be the only time when I'm really talking about Halloween Horror Nights. If I happen to vlog at Universal when things are up and running, not in terms of Halloween Horror Nights, but like with some decorations here or there, I apologize, but that's the way it is. And we'll continue on from there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. End scene. And as they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.